There is victory for us. There is victory for us. In the struggles of APC, there is victory for us. For us, oh yes. For us, oh yes. In the struggles of APC, there is victory.
A very good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Today, another program where we don't bring Cantona. We're not sitting on Thursday, the 23rd of June in the year of our Lord 2022. This is not the APC U.K. online TV platform. The monologue show when they call Everyday Politics with me, ABS, leading the conversation. Fambulem, today we get a very exciting topic where they bring Cantona. At least most often I don't see the flyer they go round. It's a very exciting topic, something we get for do which we policing system na Sierra Leone. First of all, I want to make we understand say the police force na Sierra Leone basically started sometimes in 1808 when Freetown became a colony. And it was during that period, sometimes in 1894, na in Kizet, which they call the Royal Kizets, where that be the instruments where they be put during the colonial period for make we get to get a police force today. Fast forward, the police force metamorphosized to an instrument, a parliamentary instrument, when Act number 7 of 1964. This not the police act where they use for establish the police force of Sierra Leone. We don't get the police. It hasn't been easy for Sierra Leone. There's been challenges since that period to date. We don't see police, they don't come, they don't go. And then we get the war. When we get the war, a lot's happen. So the post-war reconstruction process, they actually come up with an idea where they hire somebody. We come all the way from Greater Manchester Police when they call Kit Bidul. Come in, that was exactly 1999, for can revive the police force in Sierra Leone. Kit Bidul come, the narrative changed after the war, because one of the problems they wouldn't be able to highlight during the war, which are the causes of the war, was the fact that some state institutions were not acting in the interest of the populace. So that's be kind of foments a kind of animosity and resentments among the populace. So when we come to the war and everybody for member for the people every day in Sierra Leone during the war, the civilians them then turn against the police. We saw a lot of police brutalized. Some of them were set on fire. There's a lot of horrific stuff that will happen. So then the idea came, say, the police has to be transformed. So this great man from Great Manchester Police called Kit Bidul was actually brought in by the then president, His Excellency former Tijan Kaba of blessed memories. He served from 1999 up to 2012, if I'm not forgetting. That was the period where Kit Bidul served. And for we will be the Freetown, we get sense. We see how the police be sort of like transformed. They were not perfect, but then there's so many things then the way the police they do, where at least it's acceptable. It's kind of reasonable to Sierra Leoneans. We did say them bring in a gentleman after we Kit Bidul don't left called Ibrahim Acha Kamara. And according to a lot of people, they say this man still stand out as the best IGP in the history, in the post-war era of Sierra Leone. Himself now, late man now, he died in London some time ago. May his soul rest in perfect peace. When he be dead, things will not be okay, but things were much, 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 much better than what is happening today. Fast forward His Excellency President Ernest Bai Kuruma, former himself come, he bring another IGP. Come out today, we come into the era of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio. He bring for we what I recall with what I would know today as Ambrose Michael Sovola. Sovola was appointed, he became the IGP, and since the term we come sometimes in March, I think it was the 13th of March, can't remember exactly, 2018, since he getting appointments, the police force in Sierra Leone don't move from one green milestone to the other. Lots of challenges. So today, we want to come actually look into all them problems there. So why Sierra Leoneans then find themselves into this kind of bondage with the police now not acting in the interest of the populace. Don't get me wrong, the police, they do their job. Not so they're all bad, basically. You cannot take one man in issue of few orders for punish everybody. Because if we not get police in Sierra Leone, then Sierra Leone will be a state of, well, basically, I couldn't say state of nature. It could be one person, they go after the other. So they're doing they're trying. But then again, the problem where a lot of people gets, not us, the things that happen on social media, it's about the current leadership of the police. Because a leadership of an organization we're supposed for actually act in a professional manner. Now, they set the tone where it trickle down all the way down to an ordinary constable. If the leader not they conduct himself professionally, then na so the team, the entire team, all the way down, they say will follow suit. We see a type of policing in the post-war era of, let's say, the post-2018 elections, where now we get President Julius Maada Bio, Maki, where we don't promise Sierra Leoneans, then say, they come up with an agenda for change. An agenda for change means all the administrations, them, including Tijan Kaba, was not good for Sierra Leone. So for Ram in come in for hit the ground running, those actually are parts of the slogans that they get for can change Sierra Leone for good. Ladies and gentlemen, but it is very, very clear. It's abundantly clear that since we get IGP Sovola, the police in Sierra Leone don't they move from one goalpost of a green milestone to the other. Lots of challenges them, and the show will for actually give some videos and things them where don't they happen throughout the time where Kit Bidul was we get Sovola as the IGP in Sierra Leone. As I tell you now, when they constitute the police, because there's something that don't happen very recently when we get Sovola in the tell Sierra Leoneans them say, in as the IGP, the police, they serve the government of the day. Now so in say. So we take and say that itself is a deviation from the constitutional mandates. The police, not so that they establish the police. They establish the police for very, very, very important functions them. First of all, the police for ensure, and they can just take me note, the police for ensure that the primary responsibility basically now for enforce, now for ensure that we get law enforcement and also crime investigation, law enforcement and crime investigations. Then beyond that, the police also gets other key functions them within they play now the states. It's very important that for we know about them functions they are so, because this is the argument with the IGP. Anytime we is actually where he did with in boss. Very recently, when the IGP, the president, be actually do what they call he do a dinner for the police. We agree within the IGP be talk at that time. So the argument is them they serve the governments of the day. That was the thing where the IGP tell we. But we believe say the functions of the police are beyond that. If you look at it, the school bar, when they see the functions of the police in Sierra Leone, and this it come up verbatim from within the law say. What are these functions? The police, then they for actually investigate and for crime prevention, protect lives and property, detect and prosecute offenders, maintain public order, safety and security, and to enhance access to justice. There is nothing there that says the police are exclusively a creature way established by an act of parliament of 1964 for work for the government of the day. That is not. The government of the day can be part of the things within the work within the court. But if the IGP currently just say the police, then they for serve the government of the day. So for us, we say and say it's a deviation from the constitutional mandate. So if we say we need to know basically why would they get them problems here, especially under this under in these past 4 years when the police day under the stewardship of IG Suvola. But today, I know they can't more account all una me one great for talk to una. And they bring in a very senior person. You know, now we missed this na person where EBC, he don't actually day in the APC for a very long time. Now a very senior gentleman. Una on so most of una know him, so if una don't know him, na person who don't serve a long time chairman of the branch, where he served from 1982 to 1992. So imagine 1982 to 1992, he served as the chairman of UKI. And what's happen after we can get a coup, when Strasser then come in, we get a coup, then from there, the branch be seized for operate. But after that, from 1995 to 1996, the branch came again, and under Paulo Conte, the former Minister of Internal Affairs under Anes Koma, was then the chairman here during then 10 day. Then Indo acts in different capacity. But before even then, this now also gentleman we don't day na the youth league way now them first ad during the 1967 elections. This now no less a person, now somebody who not self know, especially UKI, now household name way and they call senior comrade Israel Papa. Come on in. Welcome to we on platform. Just say hello to tell Fambulem. Hello, sir. Go on, sir.
Hello, viewers. Hello, Fambulem. Now, good evening. I'm glad for day with you, ABS. Thank you very much for inviting me to this discussion tonight. I hope I'll be able to mix the match to which you would look at. I mean, the police it's a very important institution in any country, and of course, there have been challenges in every different spheres of the police over the years. I mean, the police started well back in the 1880 something in Sierra Leone. It's not a new institution. Of course, the ISU came into force in 1971 when my own friend Masari came into starting it after we come out to Russia. So it's a good institution. They were separate institution, but the police not been used gun, police been used baton for doing service. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Thank you so much, sir. And before you go, we just want to ask you kindly for let you put your phone landscape so that we're able to see you properly landscape. If you just spin your phone landscape.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so yes, I think it's looking perfect now. So if we able to get some from that. And Fambulem, also want for try for reach out to somebody where another experts in analysis of issues them in events in Sierra Leone. Na person way a very active na social media, but as we currently know, the internet na Sierra Leone is not actually friendly for we want to get people them now the platforms them, and what we can do before that we get them on the phone. We hope he able for pick or maybe he be join me later. But when he come later, I will try for bring come so that we able to get a proper communication today about the police under IG Suvola. So I dey call him again. But senior comrade Israel Papa, commonly called in the UK. I want for basically start this conversation with you. The reason being is you na possible we don't day na Sierra Leone at una as youth man them now una try for now be then at the youth league where in a play a crucial role in the 1967 elections. What was it like compared to today for the benefits of we
Well,
viewers?
things were not as tense as it is. I mean, there were tensions in the political side, obviously, with the SLPP after Sir Milton died in April 27, 28, I think I'll call him 27 night. That was another crucial one. I mean, it was a shock to the system of the whole country and the world. Because me personally see and we in the drive, when the drive go east, they go left Talbot. Now east, that was independent thing. The power return, I had the siren going back. Next morning from the BBC, 6 o'clock morning news, the announcement comes say die. So it was a complete shock. But the police, as since we are dealing with the police, I live with an uncle who was ASP. He worked first. Worked at a small police in Eastern Police Station. And the time when Bambi came up, been there with us as a junior police officer. Then when my uncle Duarte, who will be in Master Street now for Beirut. This was I think 1961, 62. It was late after independence. I was there with him because during the time with the Queen go, he was one of those who was attached to the Queen, to the body of policemen. We secure the Queen all over the country, go Bo and all that, come back and so on. So I knew a lot of stuff. Then he moved on to CID when he become one of the top men in CID and become one of the. In fact, he ended up as the chief prosecutor. And before I left, he died later on. So the police, we look at as a friend, the police, picking them as you scared picking and say, policeman, they come, afraid and afraid. And they won't go hide. But police not being get gone, no work out gone. And police, the uniform being very decent, they been clean, you see them, smart. So people don't want to join police. But unfortunately, they don't get graduates in police. Graduates from the police force. Until my friend, Walter Nico, my schoolmate from the grammar school. Walter Nico, when he finished from Abbey College, he was the first graduate to join the police as a graduate. Later on, 2 other graduates in commercial and camp, then go do biochemistry, but they don't get a place for work. There was problems in working in the hospital and all that. So I think Pastor Kia advised them for joining the police. Churchill Pratt and S.T.O. Perry. These were men who I know personally, they joined the police force. And they did very well. Police are going to training school now, Hastings, they get them pass out. It was sort of grand occasion and the respect been there. So people been to see and understand what in the police they do. Yes, of course, you got 1 or 2 difficulties. There are incidents in which when the governor was there, I remember one minister was supposed to be arrested. That's when the coalition government be there, and they afraid for execute the warrant. The APC side wanted to see that the minister be arrested, but because this was not it was not an APC person, although it was a coalition government, but unfortunately the minister be there out of the country. When he go back, now look at them expect say they go arrest him soon. They will arrest him because the governor, it was Governor General, so will not be get Republican. The governor will not sign the warrant, but the police not be able to execute the warrant. So that brought some tension. But again, when you look at it historically, that tension, if you may arrest that governor, the coalition government will collapse. So that not be happen. So we don't get any kind of small problem with police. There have been riots everywhere from now and again. I was very small boy when the national strike took place. I was about 10 years old. I still get vivid memory when the police be shoot and all that. When one shoots one with myself around Cotton Tree, one of them streets Cotton Tree area. I think it's in Liverpool Street or Putney Street, that kind of junction. One put in there. The police, they only go beat person and shoot person. The only time when shooting starts, now the 67, now 1967 after Albert Magai coming and change these laws, bring in this arrest, this Public Order Act, and they begin arrest journalists. If that particular act this was because they want to arrest the editor of the Wion, the editor prosecute him, then they lost the case. The jury not find him guilty. So Albert Magai removed the Chief Justice, said I fault. Then pull and come out Chief Justice and make him promote him to where you know will get power as appeal court president. And so if you for kill last side and first interference, that's where he interfered with the Chief Justice. The next one was Justice Siri calling seven Budo and bring your own junior president Gashon Collier and people like that. It was in 67 when the election done not being too satisfactory, when a palaver they been there. Now they that shooting the business starts. Because we the worker and street, you had this issue, Jama with gun. Policeman the worker with gun.
So waiting, senior comrade, waiting we bring the shooting at that time, day 67.
The shooting the time when last now declare martial law, when they arrest the governor general and while Sekasi had been sworn in, the government had already been started forming, and they were about, I think they were about, the governor was about to swear in Ibrahim Taki, according to which I know. Then that before Inga Norman storm into the hall and stop the swearing in after the last another then shortly after that last declare martial law over the radio. Then the Allman begin for run. Rumor come out and net say they don't carry Shakasi gonna Palemba with and they can't go Bangbatuk. People are vexed, Allman begin block the road and all that, so put all the stone in the road and all kinds of things in the road. Then take Albert Magai and Shakasi and lock them up the Palemba road. Then the Sujaman and Canada, that Independence Avenue, they all lined up there. I saw it with my own eyes. They like we said in a gorilla. They just lay down, go with a tripod with a gun. So this at 7 o'clock sharp, that was when the first gunshot was made. And it was a massacre. A lot of people died. Even my own young cousin even got shot. One because he's still there alive. It did Congo market.
Senior comrade, the reason why to make I ask you this question, you know, now people like una way at least una witness waiting happen during 10 and day una as you know eyewitnesses them wanna be there part of the whole episode, because I think the story has been twisted, you know, quite recently, and because of political reasons, we know this. Especially from with friends and from the SLPP side, because that 1967 was a very crucial moment. We're not here to talk about that, but we're laying the premises or with the type of lay the premises for this show tonight. When the Saka Stephen win elections, then the then SLPP refuse follow you for a smooth transition.
I don't want to divert to that, but that's a separate story where we can come back and discuss, because that one, but if I dive onto the police, focusing on the police, the police were weak at the time. They in fact, they virtually melted. They don't get that powerful, do much. Even when Jackson Smith took over, and when last night, 2-3 days after, I think it was like 48 hours, under 48 hours, which Colonel Charles Blake and it was then they were measured, the three majors, Charles Blake and Kaisamba, when they seized last night, took him to Palemba Wood and seized all the senior officers them, and that's the police commissioner, who was then William Lee, you can call him Bill Lee. William Lee was the one that they brought in to join the NRC, the National Information Council. We run the country. Then, of course, there was a lot of confusion. They had first appointed Genda as the head. Then, of course, half the way they changed the appointment to bring in Jackson Smith. But that story, I know people don't get the story wrong, because now Charles Blake said in Peter Tucker, if we read Peter Tucker and you see where he explained exactly how wide and changed, because Genda did not actually go out of the army. People, you talk about other people that they twist the story. We know that certain people and they will know the story, but then they deliberately twist the story and for favor they talk to the youngsters that we don't understand that story. But the time where people will correct them as far as we go. The police started focusing on the police. It was fair. We got Eastern Police Station, Ross Road Police Station never existed. There was one in Kisii. There was no Congo Cross Police Station, but there was Adelaide Street Police Station. So people, they go, if they arrest people, then within a police station, they go bail them, they will do all things, then the police will go to court, then things go to court. Yes, we get police brutality. We started after 71, after the Republic. In fact, that came about, this ISU. It came about after the Bangura Bangura attempted coup because Pashaka Stephen been suffer all sorts of coups, attempted coups upon coups. When Bangura and coup form, take over, the try for take over. That was when the ISU formed. I had gone to Russia, me and TK Masari. When we come over Russia come, we went to army places all day. Because I was working in the bank. So I was a bit of a moderate. I'm not getting involved in the day-to-day things, and apart from the hours that were available. But I was still very active. I was number 3 in the APC Youth League at time. Bob Allen was the president, and of course Dr. Uri, Dr. Uri was there. Amy no left time. He was the Secretary General in the first convention. We were all elected. Babatule Blythe and Sylvia Blythe and Dalina, they formed that they do that convention there for the APC Youth League, where we all get elected. I was the national auditor and acting national organizing secretary. But one there was a chap called Bonosi say, if you go to Russia, and all dying on that plane, where Russian plane crashed. So I carried on dealing as acting organizing secretary, as well as a national auditor of the APC Youth League before I came England. When we come to Russia, then when this coup can take place, this attempted coup by Bangura, and everybody get fed up with the recurrence of this attempted coup and counter coups and stuff. Now in this ISU can form, and I TK Masari now start for them. First we're gonna be volunteers. Somebody get. You see, and guys all they go match around Brookfield. That's the practice in the day. But we not be able to join that. We not be able to join because first of all, we not like uniform job. Safe, but I'm not work with me uncle. Me uncle what people join police. I agree. Why left school? And me not the uniform job. Me not like too much uniform. Apart from school uniform, I not mix for any job we get uniform. So that's so the police were with not play area where people in the free. Police not get any kind of fet here. You afraid to your man if you see to your man at treat. What is your man doing at treat? You don't see to your man at treat. The policeman in the shit at treat like in England. They get them baton on the hand. They don't get no gun. Now after ISU thing, after this paramilitary team canceled, ISU was just there after the attack by Shaki, where you got them Guineans, they all come. But the police side was working perfect. I remember in 71, when we go for swing over from right-hand drive to left-hand drive. Apart from the sensitization, where they do on radio and television and all that, the day come, the police were there, 5 o'clock in the morning, everybody enjoy. I mean, you don't get pussy. Unless somebody go tifo or somebody kill pussy, no. But you don't see the police in any bad light. Not at all. Not at all. And I'm not talking about Freetown alone. I have experiences in Bo and Kelema and also in Yonibana. My grandfather used to work, one of the integrators in Upline. Now then Bill Bo. Now they been there. I reach my day up there. I go school there. I see police there. The police station at Bo, one of the extension, the non-broker now. Now my grandpa Billa. Now my grandpa build that police part of the police station there. And I know what police would go there. The police are there by the roundabout. And the school have been going during this day and the corner there by the roundabout in the Methodist school. I went there. And the police, then they pass up and down the secure people. There's if you call police they come. One of my sisters have been lost one day. Then people say he don't lost. Now me can't go school. The member say he don't disappear. Now me can't go school the morning. She was 3 years old. I can't go school. So police, they don't call police. Police must look for all about. But I say I can't with them back.
Here is a question for you, senior comrade. As one of we online viewers, Derwin Thomas from Bristol, they ask, they say, when was the police force politicized? As somebody way don't they
politicized? Well, you see, it depends upon how you look at it. When Pastor Stephen gets fed up with when some tribalistic thing we want to start in the country, it want to make all man get involved. This is his thoughts. He brought in the army commander. He brought in the police commander. He brought in the trade union commander, the head, and put them all in parliament. You see, so that all man go get representation. I remember President Momo at the time when he was the ADC. He was head of army then. He became the ADC. It was the ADC there until when he became a minister. He made them all these three branches ministries. But the tension, the reasoning now for bring everybody together, it was not to politicizing any the army or politicizing, to give an opportunity. That's a longer republic when this happened. And these people serve. I remember the first policeman where he take up Ezekiel Coker. It was then he was acting commissioner of police when William Lee was with the NRC. So after that overthrow of Doctrine, where they arrested him, let me arrest Coker self. He don't die now. He died, I think he's 90 something recently. When Coker run the police, then all those big riots which took place in Connaught, he writes a book where he recorded there. There were some big riots for the Connaught riots, and only go on from the 50s, from when Governor Stuck they on. This one where they can say, oh, they can say all them Maraca for go, where they can turn to sing. Now Governor Stuck talked about the East Connaught, when the riots. So the police had a problem more in the provinces, particularly in the Connaught Diamond area, than in Freetown. Freetown will not be get Freetown, rural area, western area will not be get problem with police. The problem working with the police are when them police begin to take money from traffic. Then traffic police then get bad name for bribery. But police in the courts, police in the court were all respected. You get the bad eggs. Not make no fool about that. You got bad eggs. You got people that will get try to make influences. And one or two cases, and they will where you could cite if it push camp and shove. But the problem was more in the Connaught area for the diamond problem, where they get riot upon riot upon riot, especially between the 58 and 60, right onto the after the 67 election. Even when Parakuka did it, we won it. So we had several runnings up there for the police riot, police and the diamond smugglers.
Thank you so much, Senior Comrade.
But the police was not bad.
I think you don't give me quite a detailed analysis of how the police don't actually metamorphosize from the time where they established and where they KZ and put the first KZ and called Europe KZ in 1894, and now we find ourselves now the police stay under the stewardship of Inspector General Ambrose Michael Suvola. So basically, the reason what we call in our today is that we don't see the police force in Sierra Leone. In fact, if you look at the international indexes, one of the things we will find out, you look at the global policing index, you find out, say, since 2018, and I want to let people know this stuff are online. Within I can tell people, let us don't be lazy. When SLPP are telling you, are trying to twist the story about the reality of things, make sure you search for yourself. The informations are readily available for all to read and for you to understand. The reason why some of this information are online is for our own consumption, because we don't want to continue to be in a state whereby somebody has to feed us with some kind of, sorry to use me, friends say, with garbage information with really no relevant information people and they use just for let them able for make their own political propaganda. It's there. The global police index since 2018. Because I listened to somebody during 98.1 broadcast when we get Ibrahim Tommy and then we get the president of the bar association, and it was the president of the bar association and Michaela Swallow, something like that.
Yeah.
Even though where it be the question the issue of LJ, I see it give accolades to the current government say they don't do well, but she was very specific on why they say they don't do well. It say because they don't actually repeal the criminal libel law, which is part 5, and he also say the death penalty. He said these are strides, very great strides. Yes, they are great strides, but what we can tell people, there's a differences between thing where you they do in abstraction and the reality of events, things that they happen.
Well, ABS, let not stop it. In fact, it's the criminal libel law. I mean, part 5 of them would have been created. Now, but my guy created. I don't say the reason why they do it. It came in particular for the journalists, and the case will be there. I forget the man name. Will be the editor. Somebody go remember his name. And it starts with H. Even Mommy Princess Bokna, Mommy Bokna, we be doing a party office. Senior man like me level and some of anybody will be in Thai England, be the APC Youth League around 80s to 90s, even up to 2000s. They go know Mommy Bokna. Mommy Bokna was one of the members, and we've been there as the editor assistant. Now we own. Now then one day they been arrested. There was an article where we posted in that 65 day. Now I made them arrest them. I can't remember the story exactly with the post, but it was an article posted in the New York paper. Now they arrested for libel. When they lost the case, I'm not going to go through the longs of it. The case, it was a jury trial. It was a jury trial. The jury found for the defendant and they freed him. Albert Swaga vex and the person will be the HR police. They vex. They create the 1995 law. 1995 law. That part 5 days for the libel. And it can't turn now that every government now we come after, they use that law for army government to this government to that government to. So for say, oh, they don't pull this, they don't pull this. That is fine, and because even journalists we younger, they suffer penalty. I be Cabo suffer penalty. They all suffer penalty. Because you write no more. There was a restriction those days. If you're not see with someone, you know you go for politics. You write my politics, you talk my politics, and go then we sack you. I got a good friend, Wayne Johnson, Fashion Johnson, who did in the post office. We don't need to work a bank. When we begin for his APC Youth League campaign, he will campaign one net. Me freely talk, he can't see the soapbox he talk. Then second the next day, he ended up the USC, he ended up work. He lost in government job because that kind of restriction they been there. So you know they go form nonsense. But police don't get involved in politics. This election things we don't come now. It just can spoil the police more. The brutality we don't see in the past few years, both sides. If I read an article today, say when somebody they talk, things will happen when even Munu been there. So the police just don't can turn. Since after the war, when Bill Long came, it can restructure the police. It was going fine. Suddenly, we don't have lost the election now. The police don't can turn something else. I mean, for police to go shoot people then in a party office, suffocate them. Look, poor former ambassador, High Commissioner to UK, Kanu, die. Because from that next day when they shoot that gas slipper, now the man not recover again. These things are bad. Look at the video where you see when they shoot the woman in the Bufili, the party office. Everywhere the killings. I mean, these are murders. The police are committing murder, and they're getting away with it. They will not get away with it because the names of the individuals that we do they know the very Sovula be Dina Kabbalah. Now by election, when I shoot up about 9 minutes and people will point finger to her. So I mean it is not right. Nobody no go give whether poor man talk the truth now say police not get right for court person here, then transfer the man.
Exactly. So I'm going to hold you there. I'm going to hold you there for the moment. When the deputy spokesperson go na AYV and tell the world say the police was wrong for caught the dreadlocks of LAJ and the guy was actually transferred. They say they don't transfer right now, and we believe say Usa Idesu now the tip the tip end for letting kick him out of the police. Now
No victimization.
So we did take a quick break, but when we come back, we continue on the issue of the police. We can begin to take the era of Ambrose Michael Sovola. But let's just give a tip quickly.
Oh na 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 na. Say the way them be left the power to murder, not to say it. Plenty youth they smoke and go mad. Try they not to say be there. The way this mommy they talk, the other mommy not to say be there. The way politics them spoil we try they I say not to say be there. The way mother they fly plenty, the other part not to say be there. The way this mommy they talk, the other mommy not to say be there. The way them be left the power to murder, not to say there. But not to so be there. Not to so be there. Not to say be there. Not to say be there. Not to so be there. Not to say be there. Not to so be there. Not to say be there.
Not so it be day, when Ernest Kuma, former president, left power 2018, and President James say not so it be day. This not the great man himself, way very controversial, way then they call LJ, his stage name not LJ. This is the music. So a lot of media commentators they say everything where they begin, where they happen. I can hear you, senior comrade. I can hear you. Everything where they go around today, around this man called LJ, it's got to do with this music plus other stuff. They may say this music it play quite a lot because it's a big tune. It's very very explicit in the tune. Say when they left power, then give Mother Bio not to so everyday. But if he writes now in music, let us go and dig some certain informations. Then now we see which LJ I for talk about. Senior comrade Israel Papa, I can hear you. Your picture is very clear. I can see you. The volume is okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir? I can hear you anyway. You can log out and log in again. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to follow we dig some international data where they talk about the police. My colleague there or my guest there, they struggle, but at the brand come pretty soon. But I really want to dig into certain information. I want to let people and get things done with when they can go today. This is not me. This is day online. This is the information. Look at the school. Read what's in the happen. This is the international. It's an international barometer where they look at human rights issues. Them and we get for do with the role of the police in Sierra Leone since 2018 up to date when the presidents come into power. Mother Bio, he take the oath of office, Nabin Sumani, and he appoints Ambrose Michael Sovola as the IGP now. And mark you, that appointment was very, very controversial. Why it be controversial? Because, they say if the president is not working, history must be revisited. And we want to trace a kind of a history in a chronological order way, at least for the people and see why are we in this kind of terrible state in Sierra Leone. So we get Sovola, where they be appointed, we made to understand that he was not even the 25 man in the police council, the senior police officers in Sierra Leone. It was never there. But then the president choose for Briancam. You want to ask yourself why? Because the police now a very hierarchical structure. Somebody will not even be na number 25. You Briancam on top of people. Why? Okay, you don't serve for a very long time. Say to your appointments, 40 years. We told the service you don't serve for 40 years. now the police force, and that's even that particular time day is very, very questionable. I say there's a lot of controversies then we they now this with current IGP, and that's if you now read we write up we will be make the adverts for this show. We say with the focus on the leadership also of Ambrose Sovola, because we want to let people know why we find ourselves into this. So that at the time when they appoint him, they say he don't serve 40 years. So the question is, how old was Sovola when he joined the force? How old? Because for let you join the police force, you don't get for day na a retirement age. According to the Nassit Act of Parliament, every public officer in Sierra Leone, when you hit the age of 65, that is a retirement age. But something really, really happened after we appoint this person. And when I get this information, I take you now stage by stage before I bring me wonderful guest again, when our senior comrade Israel Papa. So when they don't appoint Sovola, people they say Sovola should not be appointed because he was even beyond the retirement age. But then until we say the moment we appoint him, now be 61-year-old. This was 2018. But guess what happened? Shortly after we they don't appoint him, and your small sister we call bien just about that time. This is the lady called Lucy Sovola, the younger sister of the current IGP. When Sovola, a small sister we call bien, he celebrates in 65 birthday at the time when they don't appoint him, where he say in a 61. So when I get the story, ABS gets a sister. They appoint me today for that be the host at the monologue. But the monologue show gets an age gap, say, the presenter not for day beyond 65. When me come, I say me at 61. But just about that, and this now a newspaper. Now in find out about this when they call Salon Compass newspaper. Now then go dig this information, find out say Lucy Sovola, just about the time when they appoint Sovola, he celebrates 65 years old birthday, the small sister. I don't know what kind of system this. Why the small one, we na Indian them born immediately after Sovola. The tell they appoint him brother in a 65 and Sovola is 61. So get from that point there. So these are the problems we get because the police in Sierra Leone, especially the IGP, supposed to be a professional institution, ladies and gentlemen. And if the reason what make we find ourselves into this thing, possible for ask a question. The president, in his own wisdom, appoints somebody. Number one way say he don't be beyond the retirement age, and at that time, the age was estimated at 72. Looking at Sovola, even though he puts makeup, he didn't know say it's an old without being stereotypical to age. I am talking about the law and what should be because it's a professional force. So since we get that kind of number one, he was not even a number 25 man na the hierarchy of the police. Them appoint him. That's fine in luck, but he was beyond a retirement age. So since this man came, imagine when you put a vehicle we don't own na road we get for do let's say 200 miles an hour. What you get for expect the vehicle they broke down. And you know, I dig into ID Sovola, even in education, if he didn't my guy, he do a course they gets a diploma, something with peace and development, and from there go do a first degree in economics and development, and they go do your masters, you know, all of this thing, you know, you do a peace also. You know, what I find out is that the SLPP hierarchy, all the one them we don't do peace and conflicts, these are people them where they cause problem in society. I think those theories of conflict, they actually inform the way, the state of mind and the way they act. This man is a master's holder and he also gets a PhD from the Disneyland of Dominion. We all don't get this information, it's out there. They don't come put until we as we IGP. So what I really want, if you think say Sovola, even if you're not SLP person within the platform, if you want to know why Sovola they act the way they act, they grab and can't tell we. I don't put this to the functions of the police. By the way, that just go the quick back and bring the functions of the police. When the hear this man they talk say the role of the police for in that for serve the government of the day. That is now that's intel way. But that is not the function. Now just look at the functions of the police. That is scroll bar. These are the functions of the police. So in jump from there, I say for the functions of the police and for serve the government of the day. End of. That is the be it all and end all. That is Sovola. This man will come. The international barometer where they actually look great police them across the world. Tell we say since 2018, the police in Sierra Leone they don't drop, which means the grading they drop day in day out. But you hear things about them people that say we come actually change the trajectory. Not me. This are the information. Look this code by again. That is where we are, 2022. We there at 111 position at the world. And then what they say, then put in a category where they say the current category of Sierra Leone is what they call hybrid democracy. And what do I mean by hybrid democracy? This is not democracy where they say then get electoral fraud and then get electoral fraud system in the happen. In the happen in Sierra Leone, of course it happen. We see what will happen. All the by-elections will happen. We don't see 49 change to 149. We follow this. And then they would tell we, they say that kind of system they continuously put pressure on political opponents. This is another characteristic when we talk about hybrid democracy. So in other words, we don't come up from an escoma, we come up from a full democracy where we say everybody go about your own business. There will be get a functional governance. We be get, and then also the cohesiveness of society was very much okay. People are very, very okay. People nobody look at anybody say because you come on at this region. So all of these things, one of the characteristics, you get what them call, you get the current government, they pile pressure on the opposition. So that's a characteristics. And also then tell we say there's widespread corruption and also the rule of law, they exist. So these people are we don't grade Sierra Leone and put this information. It's there online. People within a challenge go online. Now this then talk about Sierra Leone and then go on for talk say, then say what's in the happen, free speech go be stifled. And in the happen just yesterday with comrade Mohammed 91 when we were doing publicity secretary was incarcerated for nothing. Just for put a post on Facebook, we don't get nothing for be say it go against the Cybercrime Act. He was just expressing what he thinks, what he then say. And he not even talking, so it happened. He said, if it is true, he was incarcerated, not CID. But this is a system. Then they do this for they actually muscle people. And what he then talk again, then say, when and then things like they happen, he final say, the governance system of the country, they become dysfunctional. So these are 4 characteristics. This is where we are. But why this thing they happen? Because President Julius Maada Bio, it orchestrates the idea for giving somebody where this is not me, it's not my own description. This is not the first lady. But before I actually give you the description, we're not listening to the man himself where he talk. This is not the IG.
Just like laughing, talking, but what may have prompted the leader to pass on such security order?
Yeah, well, probably he's suspecting the behavior, the temperament. As election is going, is rising, like the sound is rising, temperament of people want to manifest rudeness, and rudeness is unacceptable here.
Well, temperaments, people want to manifest rudeness. This is a master's holder, and it's also a PhD holder, not in the talk. So don't go away. Listen to your IG speaking to you.
An Okada rider carrying a school-going child and one other pillion overtake vehicles and cross before the vehicles. The approaching vehicle was coming. A banger, the rider and the pillion, they died.
Let's take a deep breath. This is the current state of Sierra Leone. The approaching vehicle was coming. An approaching vehicle was coming. And the pillar, I don't know what they call pillar, the banger. This is the problem. When you take an institution, when at the police, by the way, we don't get anything against IG Ambrose Michael Sovola. We are talking about Sierra Leone. When you take an institution as crucial as the police, the role where they execute a nation, you give to somebody like Sovola. This is what you get. From one grim milestone to the other. But let me see if I ever forget this other guest, basically, people, because if I follow get people them way, at least they can't tell me about what thing really the happen now. So you don't try for login, but for some reason I never forget him. Let me try to reach out to him. Let me try to reach out to him. Maybe insist get something for Giwi. So this is where we are. Thank you so much. You did live now, comrade. Ladies and gentlemen, to me viewers, them I just don't bring in somebody way instead grounded into this issue. A name commonly a social media name, and they call them People's Power. People's Power, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and comrades, thank you very much, guys. And I want to tell you now, plenty, thank you. APC UK and I want to tell you now, plenty, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So you they follow the program just now. Currently also we they talk about the current IGP winner Ambrose Michael Sovola. This na man where I just don't play video then just now. I'm sure you don't see them video on social media when this man they assassinate the Queen's English, a man who's supposed to be a master's degree holder. But by the way, it's not to in language. Let we talk this. But even the Creole where it talk is a problem. If you get a professional institution like the police and you put somebody like IG Sovola, what do you expect? What are the results where you expect as a citizen of Sierra Leone? Come on in, sir.
Definitely, and I think the law will begin to ask Usai, President Pool, and Sovola for Kamikan and IG. That's not the number one question first. For begin to ask. As you write, don't talk right now, you say a lot of police officers, them senior police officers, them, the day before before it can be an IG, who side them pull up before it can be AG. This now a sensitive question than this we need for the ask percent. And I want to tell Sierra them, I want to tell citizens them to say. And Sovola don't they as an IGP for the past 2 years because they appoint Sovola as IGP on the 20th of March 2029. This man don't be an IG in that country. Now when I go begin to ask me question, when I go begin to watch for where Abu Sovola be IG na the country, na this country Sierra Leone. How many how many citizens they don't kill? Under a watch, we see massively police officers that they kill people in Namakeni. Under a watch, as an IGP, we see who side they kill people in Nalusag, kill people in Natumu, kill people in na 91, kill people inside the prison. We see they conduct a whole by elections where government spend billions of loans. You see a whole cabinet minister, they march into the polling center, polling stations. Then they destroy elections materials. This is the taxpayers' money. Nobody they no arrest. Instead, they go arrest Honorable Abdukago. Honorable Abdukago is an innocent man, innocent, of course. He gets accreditation for even witness at the elections. And the videos them they clear. They see the Minister of Transport and Aviation, which in talks them, they enter into the police centers, they destroy the whole elections. A lot of other bad elections that they will not happen right in front of the Inspector General of Police. Look the one case of Kabbalah, that election will happen at Kabbalah. the Minister of Youth Affairs, he go with his talk them, he goes in them, they go to a police center, a police station, they march inside there, put election materials, they put them, punch them down. The police see this and the police they watch this. One thing where our citizens say no. Oh, I just want to understand this. The Inspector General of Police, all that things that way they do so, and then they do them by themselves. Now that's our law we know. Now that's our law we understand. All what in the police they do, the president know, the vice president know, the Minister of Internal Affairs know, because the vice president, the chairman of the police council, and that committee there, the Minister of Internal Affairs, and the secretary of that committee. So anything waiting they happen at the police, the president know. We they blame Ambu Sovola for them things how they happen because in at the IGP, that he will take responsibility of that. But the president, as the person of honor, as the father of the nation, he know exactly what they happen at this country. He accepts, he agrees, and he pleads with the way and manner how the police they continue for arrest people, then they continue for beat people, then they continue for amputate people, continue for kill people, then they continue for displace people, then they continue for do all kind of violation against the people. Now you and I there, the police they talk say, then they serve the government, then they serve the people of this country. But if the police officer they tell you say, in they serve the government to the latter. So which means that the government officials them, now the president is the serve. But when you look at the 1991 Constitution, the 1991 Constitution make it clear. It said the police officers for ensure say they protect life and property. They're not telling you say for go protect the government no more. They're not telling you say for go protect ministers no more. They say you and I for protect with life and with property them. Now them you for protect. Them people always get life and property the way the police officers they for protect. Now them the police officers them. You and I don't know this country. The old police officer go kill young man for a land. We see him now 80s. He up his far in the man. He kill him. He left for a pop. We don't see a lot of things them. When the civil society them, then they yesterday. And I want to tell citizens, I want to tell Galileans the way they listen to me all over the world. For say, the civil society then they part of this problem. For let you see a civil society they go sit down a national broadcasting, a sit down. Now, AYD radio and television station, they talk say, make them not blame, let them not blame Abu Sobola, make them not blame the IGP. This problem where the police get so, now problem we don't say. Not to today that problem they start. Can you imagine that? When you make President Bio can put Abu Sobola day, why make it can put a day? But maybe I emphasize and I continue for reaccurate, tell the people say, and President Bio and Abu Sobola. They are aware, they know that things are already happy. Now, we always talk say, President Bio don't capitalize this country. They don't make sure say he journalize this country. They don't bring this country in nepotism. They don't succeed for silence the civil society. They don't succeed for silence the journalists. And they don't succeed for even silence some opposition leaders within the All People's Congress Party. When you look the hierarchy of the police, the IGP, a commander of the Southeast, that maintenance to be specific. The one where they next to the IGP, a commander of the Southeast, that maintain person to be specific. Now go to CID, the one where they head na the CID and in deputy, the all two now maintain people to be specific. When you go na Benghazi, who side the OSC the day other, the one where they head the OSC, the two people where they head the OSC the day, now maintain people to be specific. Now look all the IG them, now the whole of the country. 80% of the IG them, the AIG them, all the AIG them, 80% of them, now Southeastern them, then people have to be specific. All of them think they are one side dominant, now the police, one side dominant, now the military, one side dominant, now the prison, one side dominant, now and one side dominant, you go now ONS. All the security sectors, the security apparatus, dominated by many people. Southeasterners, to be specific, all of them things there now would call on the international community, would call on the civil society, would call on other political leaders, would call on parliament, we call on all relevant authority, international and the committee, the international donor partner them, make them not say President Bio and the police don't drive this country to go Nagota, they don't drive this country to go for one tribe, they don't drive this country to go for disaster, and we get time bomb where the people of this country don't for that time bomb day. If we not be careful, the worst is yet to happen. If we not be careful, we were then at the ground. Just like when they talk to this store, and 91 say, Ahmed 91 say, the owner because of what is a thing same way he post on Facebook. Now we talk about the criminal libel, just say, them people here don't pull the criminal libel law, what we all know that they print that. You go begin to ask questions. If they not pull the criminal libel law, they still get journalists them where they are the custody. They still get people where they are prisons, where they are Pademba Road. They still get a lot of people for ask questions. Now you and I there, we see one guy where they work in a bank, now the Union Trust Bank, where he asked a question and then makes the first lady clarify all these allegations so they don't make against them, the African investor make against them. Make it come at the air and clarify. This young man just asked that question.
It was Gavin.
You see who side they pull the young man.
It was Gavin.
Office who side they work now, you know, to go back.
Gavin.
They politicize them, and the person who own that bank they now today. And who side is he then after they college as the principal at the university.
Thank you so much. So thank you. So not just hold you there, the people's power, and you have the power of information. I think this is going to be a very good show. The people can get a lot for take home today because I get people a reservoir of knowledge. I get with senior comrade now, so a long time APC chairman. We at the branch for 10 good years until we get the interregnum when our senior comrade is a papa, he deals with us. So when you listen to people's power, then now you go know why we get this music. Listen for it.
Yeah.
Oh na 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 na. Say the way them be left the power to murder, not to say it. Plenty youth they smoke and go mad. Try they not to say me there. The way this mommy they talk, the other mommy not to say me there. The way politics them spoil, we try they say not to say me there. The way
not to say it be day. Things were not rosy, but the politics what we get now is very, very caustic.
Hello?
Not to sue the country be day. People's power, are you there?
Hello?
People's power, are you there?
Oh my God.
Yeah, are they right here?
I got problem.
So just stay there. Let me bring senior comrade Israel Papa.
Oh, my.
I can hear you, senior comrade Israel Papa. You're live. You're live. Can you hear us?
Oh Jesus, I can't.
Okay, so I'll come back to senior comrade Israel Papa because he's a
Hello?
man with a lot of experience.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
My
Are you
mic
with
is
us?
muted.
Can you hear? Can you hear? Are you there?
Oh, truly.
Right. I think in mic the play.
Yeah,
I
for
really need this senior comrade Israel Papa for deal with me today because the man we gets a wealth of experience. He was there as a youth man during the 1967 famous elections when Saka Stephen win election. Now all this problem starts. We don't get independence. The SFPP, Albert Magai, don't rule. Fine, we go into elections. When Shaka Stephen can win elections, as soon as you read to somebody will be there as a youth, a part of the youth league of the APC, then the SFPP said no, they will not transfer power. Just after we don't get independence, not even 2 decades. 1961 we get independence. 1967 we go into election, and this man we have in the studio tonight, he was part of that process. But the story has been twisted and twisted and twisted for fit certain narratives. But we have to stand together and tell our SLPP friends that Sierra Leone belong to all of us. When Madabio controversially won 2018 elections, and I use the word controversially because I know I was in the system, I was in the command center of the APC. I know what's happened, but that was then. It's not our president. He had a peaceful transfer of power. No APCian went to the streets to demonstrate. But what we are seeing here and listening to people's power, when a government try to create what you call a tribal hegemony within sensitive institutions of the state, they are up to something. Do you agree with me, people's power? People's power, are you there?
Yeah, of course. Of course, I agree with you 100%.
Thank you very much. So let me try and bring Senior Comrade Israel Papa.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you, because I don't know what happened. It just went off.
Right, so I'll try to bring you on. Thank you very much. So
okay,
now I don't know if you are following this young man called People's Power. It's another young man that is called wealth of experience. He knows the issue, and it don't lay the things them to bar. It don't tell we say what's we did today. It's an orchestrated plan by the Bio government. And I always don't tell people and say, when you get politicians, them inept individuals, them we just they come up from the fringes of society, then give them the stewardship of a nation. Anything what they do, then they do them in a default approach. This is how we got Ambrose Sovola. You don't see him, the man even for talk Creole, he need for talk. For talk English, show no problem. So how this man going for think proper? And this man will tell we say the police na Sierra Leone, then they serve the government of the day. This is a deviation from the constitutional mandate. And people start don't tell me say what's this all the killing. If ladies and gentlemen, I don't need for repeat. People start don't tell me the killing would happen. And when I see the school bar, just take your time, look what's happening for them to see. And this information is online. Just under Sovola, these are the people who don't die in Sierra Leone. Just look at the number, we don't die. Sierra Leone is sitting na a mountain, na an earthquake. Do you agree with that, Senior Comrade Israel Papa? Come on in, sir.
Well, yes, we are on a trend.
And I must say your picture is fantastic. Just keep the camera where it is.
Okay, thank you. Yes, what people's power, I follow people's power quite a lot. I listen to them plenty. I never make comments, but he's a man with vast knowledge and gets information as I would say online as time goes. He get information immediately as it happens on track. The point is, you see, there's two ways. One thing was we've been talk first. I want to talk. You talk about that. I want to go back to that age talk is about Sovola don't time for retire and all that. You see, age discrimination is a bad thing. People are older than they work. Well, reasons why they make age from first time be 50 people that they retire. Now forget other people a chance because work not be plenty. But again, it's a disadvantage to people that are older. I don't think say Mrs. and all personalities are still work. But you don't mean to say we in a situation like a police and a civil service, because specific area. I worked before I went to work in the bank. I worked with a very old man who had been retired twice, PAMU, in auditing. I started my life when I left school. Now government audit. That make I've been concerned with the auditor general removal. I worked there. I worked in Bo under another senior auditor general. We become auditor general. Pasio Mama. We just died a few months back at 90 something. These people are older men who, after they retire, they bring them back into because they needed them. Well, Sovola's situation is slightly different because it was leapfrogged, complete leapfrog, more than leapfrog set. They pull them from bottom, the level, the hierarchy, and can put them on top of people. And as far as I can see and understand, in more of riot police type of training rather than the normal policing area. So his experience is not more administrative and management. Now, he don't use this work. When you see the man, he's strong, he's tough. But if he not be involved in this fraudulent behavior, it could have been a police officer that could serve the country properly. But a man when they dip on the seat, they go pay for fake degrees. That is itself is a crime. And me not concerned about Ben Kenfala in talk about gaining an advantage. That is foolishness. We have a law under the Licensing Act of 1916. Sovula fall victim of that law is under deceit and fraud. Under the 1913 Fraud Act of Sierra Leone, Sovula can charged with aiding and abetting fraud, because the man, to me, is a criminal. That is why I call for the head of CID should have arrested him. That man should have been arrested by now. That not stop, because you have seen your boss, don't mean to say you commit crime, the other junior, and ordinary phone number police can arrest Sovula. Sovula has committed criminal offenses. We don't talk about the killings alone. This particular Dr. Idris Lahai Pulso, the man that even I would call it a serial criminal, because he don't commit one crime in 4th degree, then catch you on that, you go for another one again. And it's not the only one. This nonsense about they not take advantage, they not give advantage. They have got advantage because they got the community for looking as a PhD. And when they say the man not reach a doctor, you get a psychological feeling. So the man, you free the man with the camp. That doctor the camp. The man is bringing the false pretenses. He don't take and go fair walk. He not going to take and go fair walk. As a criminal lecturer, I know that the man is committing the criminal offense. And if the head of the police can commit criminal offense, he is not fit to be there. He should have been arrested. If President Bio really want to serve the people, I really pity him. I'm seriously on this. I said it the other day. I am sorry for the president, because these are the people who will give the man bad name. Apart from he get your own strands, he get your own things. There are things where I can talk about Bio, because when my mind go to my friend Sarami Koka them, and when they kill them 29, when they kill, I get my own case about that. But this particular issue and waiting to go on now, I'm not saying President Bio determined and the SLP determined for get a second term. But to get a second term at all costs to the lives of the people of the country, no. With such disgrace in the police, this man has disgraced the police. He's not only disgraced himself, he's disgraced the institution. He's disgraced the president. For make he sit on a BBC interview with Umaru of all case, Umaru Fofana. They tell a lie. Umaru Fofana came out and asked him about the Benghazi thing. And what Umaru Fofana a question was, it asked him about torture. He said he understand that the man was tortured, they cut in ear. So Hula answered yes, then cut in ear. This is a confession to torture. We do not have a torture chamber. Benghazi should be closed. Sovula must go. His president Biodi Yarimi, and I don't say in why for some reason I see in Twitter and the call on my phone. I don't know how it happened, but I see on the call on my phone because being able to put on Facebook, but he seen I only call on my phone. Make it go tell us. Say me say Sovula for go if you want to make a man continue to get the respect, and the police institution forget the respect. The chief of police, the head of CID, the second head, the deputy police commissioner, the chairman of the board, the vice president himself, they should be ashamed of themselves by now. They all should be ashamed of themselves.
Let us just only the quick because when they tell family and say Sovula for go, they're not understand what they say, but take.
They can listen to the police, they smell her equally like you when they go fire. You say no smell her. Eh? You smell it, and I smelled it.
Okay. You smile it, I smell it. It's a practical joke for let we get somebody in an institution as important as the police. But even waiting to happen, this not for you now for the viewers, senior comrade. With Sovola, Sierra Leone right now don't become a laughing stock in the world. And this is not coming from me. These are things them when a reality. But if you don't believe what ABS is saying here, then relax and watch for yourself.
Brother, what they call LAJ? They say the guy a musician. They try a lot of things. They happen. My inbox don't full. Couple I say you put me for Minister of Information for your country. I no one read this news before because you know consign me. You understand? No one put. But what can see your IGP? That one way go buy a degree with $500. Speak English up and down. Tombu up and down. BBC the interviewer and why you scrape this LAJ head? He said won't use the dread to commit suicide. As I talk, so it not shock you. He said won't use the holiday commit suicide. So I mean, Africa. Oh God, I'm saying only Nigeria that get problem. Those of everyone listen up when the guy they talk.
The hip-hop artist was arrested on the 12th of June on allegations of robbery. He was taken to Benghazi, a detention facility at the headquarters of the police paramilitary wing. His family and the country's Human Rights Commission have all been denied access to him amid allegations that he had been tortured and his cascading dreadlocks shaved off. The Inspector General of Police, Ambrose Sovula, says his officers have done no wrong.
He is held in police custody as a result of crime he allegedly committed, that is robbery. He went to a filling station to purchase gas. He said they have delayed him. They pumped the gas and he snatched the bag from the pump attendant, gave him merciless beating, jumped into his vehicle and drove off.
He is alleged to have been tortured, his hair shaved off.
Yes, his hair was cut off. That's part of our SOP.
The standard operating procedure.
Sure, that's it. Because one, for the hygiene of the place. He thought he was being arrested unjustly, so he was using his hair to strangle himself.
Was he?
Ah, yes, he was. He had wanted to get himself killed.
That was not contained in the police press release issued over the weekend.
Ah, yeah, the press release was saying this, the SOP and some other reasons. This is the truth, nothing but the truth.
When IGP come, whether you dey drink Roscorin, you get one of your video and even know what they talk. You talk go here, you talk go here. Whether you see get small meta issue, no wonder you dey barb hair.
Because people stealing people property, people that way they.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the lowest of the low Sierra Leone should really allow itself. We've descended to the lower ebb of this man don't just put we na a global spectacle of mockery. That's where we are. It's really, really sad. When you listen to the BBC interview, the IGP say LAJ was arrested for a crime. He was allegedly for crime where they say he go rob, allegedly for robbery. He was arrested allegedly for robbery.
Oh, I'm having problems today.
Crime. I can hear you, senior comrade Aisil Papa. I can hear you. Can you hear me, sir? Okay, it's gone. So allegedly. So what's in name mean? Now we speak Creole, because if we say we speak English, because maybe the IG they listen to we maybe go not with the part of this conversation, but we really need the IG for it to be. So senior comrade is Papa, I just really don't come up with I come up with you hear me, sir?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay, I just don't play a BBC interview where interview, because you mentioned that.
Yes, I had it.
And even the statement of the IGP is saying LAJ was arrested for a crime allegedly related to robbery. So isn't it that when somebody is arrested for something, there should be a fundamental right where any suspect gets, which is the presumption of innocence. So why?
Yes, indeed, everybody is presumed innocent. But in fact, first, apart from that, the storyline where it give a contradictory to the so-called victim. That's another clip where I see where the boy where it gets swollen eyes, where I assume say the LJ hit him. I don't get the clear picture yet. Would I hit him or would I not hit him? Because there are other people who say LJ was in the car. Other analysis, but the story we give is simple. Is through in Umar Fofana in interview. He said the man came out, snatched the bag, beat the lady, give her a merciless beat, then he jumped on the car and go. That is not what happened. You see, I am not going to be a defense lawyer, but I'm sure say the defense lawyers they will pick a lot of holes in his statement. If the head of the police don't tell a lie, then he said a second lie. He said the man was hanging himself with his ear. That is so diabolically disgraceful. Tell Umar Fofana say, really? Or something like that, that expression. Is that so? And something like that. Then he says, yes. And we cut his ear. But when Umar mentioned, but use the word torture, he said, you understand, say they torture the man and then cut his ear. So Hula's answer was clear. Yes. He admitted to torture. He admitted to torture. We don't tolerate torture in Sierra Leone. We not do Guantanamo. That's why Benghazi should not become the torture chamber for Sierra Leoneans. Anybody could be put in there.
And that was
this
so
is dangerous.
Senior comrade, that was so true. The torture statements where the IGP actually alluded to was true because when there's no way for a man as built as LG, and we know him, for let it just submit to the police and cut.
Yes, I understand. What I'm trying to get here.
Kind of trouble, isn't it?
Sorry, what I'm trying to get you here is not that to say LG was not tortured. It was actually tortured because it's been humiliated. The man here now an identity. LG not like IBAB. IBAB like if you pull in here, it not go be the same effect. Your identity is a lawyer. In a lawyer. LG, a musician, that dread day, like how Lucky Dube day or Bob Marley, that dread day, when she asked that young girl for taking your dread off. I mean, that is the man's identity. You don't violate the man apart from the ordinary human rights violation. You actually face that bodily harm. Not actual bodily harm that one. Because the psychological damage will go cause on the man. The psychological damage we don't create in LG for a year lost alone.
Let me quickly bring People's Power. I've kept him waiting for quite some
time
now. People's Power, are you there, sir?
Right there, live and direct.
Thank you so much for your patience. And now so APC people and the patience because we see they snatch the 2018 elections that we earn and we show that kind of patience, and you're here with us tonight. So you're following the discussion basically. We don't see just on waiting they talk this off build up from that. You don't see where even the IGP the way they communicate and the kind of humiliation where the kind of mockery which Sierra Leone they suffer right now. Even kind of people where they outside Sierra Leone where and then the kind way they make mockery over us. What is the mood like in Sierra Leone currently? You, a man within at the ground, tell me what is the perception? What is the perception of people hold when this issue of LG happened? Come on, sir. Come on.
I think say, and LG in issue we focus on LG in issue because LG na a popular man. Na a rapper, na a musician, so we focus on LG in issue. I just want to tell Sierra Leone and the citizens they say, any corner where you go, any attire base, any ghetto, any side public gathering day, we side people them gather, na LG in issue, na LG in case, na in people in the discourse. But one thing where I want to tell Sierra Leone and say, people in there, na the maximum prison. People in there, na Benghazi, people and they na CID were not popular like LJ.
Of course.
And they na prison where they don't kill as well. Where you and I don't know about. They're not popular like where LJ popular. You get people where they arrest Namakeni yesterday. Up to this time, after the people they inside the prison. Nobody know the way they advocate for them. You get people where they arrest Natombo. Then they inside the prisons. Nobody know the way they advocate for them. You get people arrest Nalosag. People where they arrest na 91. This year, sent back na 91. The saga way up in the within the police and the bike guider. You get people and then they behind bad. No one talk for them. We understand, say yes, indeed, LJ in this country, now a popular man in this country, now LJ in your, now him people see, now LJ your, now he na the blind, na the headline, but a lot of others we are learning them, then they where they suffer, like where LJ suffer, where he suffer so. Now, if we go to the statement of the IGP, the interview where Umar Fofana do the IGP, you go imagine, you go begin to ask yourself, say, which crime where LJ commits for like go kill himself in dreadlocks? Which
exactly
crime where LJ commits for like go kill himself in dreadlocks? Now for dreadlocks, not so LJ no more now the only person where they be said at that time when they crepe it, it gets other people where they don't be accepted when not to dreadlocks. They crepe them head as well.
Make I just hold you there. Comrade.
You know the police, the police defend all kind of way for make them fine tune them, make them give excuses because the police no say they don't really violate the rights of LJ and colleague them where and then at the behind bad. Now three statements come from the police. The deputy spokesperson for the where that Superintendent Sayo Conte. Of course, he makes his statement clear that AYB he make his statement clear. He make and tell we say he say the police not get any right. The police not get any right for court person in ear and aid. He said them as police officers, waiting them go to get, waiting them tell them after the school. No police officer not get the right for shape somebody for court person in here when he did behind bars. And the police step up pull another press release that deny the allegation say they not kept LJ in aid, LJ then at the custody. And when thing happen with Sobola go talk, it's different. Now today, the assistant spokesperson for the police where now Superintendent Sayo Conte, they don't remove him from Usa Ije. Now they don't send him Usa, they get for send him. So that tells you the police gets the problem. They get the backing of the vice president, they get the backing of the president, they get the backing of the internal affairs minister, and now them people are now they work together for make them ensure say they violate people's rights in this country too.
Thank you so much,
now,
People's Power.
Now, what the police do to a student in the IPAM. Look what the police do to students in the IPAM. Look what the police do to students in the League of University. A lot of other things today where police do.
Thank you.
I want to draw the attention of the arena team. When Francis Benkefala is that the SCC boss, allegedly they go take teacher them, they involved for examination malpractice. Then teacher are waiting to do at the end of the day. This is just an allegation. LJ in your issue na allegation. They not find a guilty yet, whether not so it be or not so it be, they go cut 3 and 8. Now the same thing goes to the teachers them. The teachers them na allegation say they involved in examination malpractice. What did Benkefala do? He take the teacher them, he put handcuff for them, he take placard, he hang up for them, he write what he get for right say, he go place the teacher in a 43.
Thank you so much. Okay, People's Power.
At the end of the day, Uda come and apologize.
People's Power.
And the city president,
People's Power.
Come and apologize. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, if we talk about the issues of the police under President Julius Maada Bio, I think we need about 24 hours. We know they even script, just like we talk. All of these things, like we talk about the female students now, IPAM, I believe, during the strike, where they strip them naked. They strip them naked and not stop there. Even somebody right away, a lot of APC and them, some are not even hearing in name. But when we talk about police brutality and the human treatments to Sierra Leoneans. Them Silver Blyden, he give a story whether that story was true or not. Say that her private part was invaded even at a time where he began a menstrual cycle. You know what I mean? A man they go to the country in the pretext of looking for a phone. So all of this thing they don't do. I think that the police don't. Don't be in a way that's what EBC is fair with it. But I think this time info for lay the premise as to what's in the people that Alium get for do. And they bring senior comrade is a papa. Let it take with you. Come on in, sir. With all
wait, waiting to go on. With all don't go on. So look, if we want to talk about this police situation, and I must correct this here. From waiting people's power say, I know say there are so many other people than they involved where nobody know they talk for them. But not that people know they talk for them, only because this issue is current. That is why we focus on this particular issue of LJ. And not only LJ, what I watch is that I watch in that explanation. The poor man, they're under pressure. And I watch, I don't know if I insist on that one day, we can give some commentary as well. And they see the clips that are all coming from all parts of the world. And there's another, I think, 3 other young men, I think in borders them, where they encrypt their aid. Then now, that explanation, the way IG say, LJ will go hanging with the dreadlocks. Those other boys not get dreadlocks, but they encrypt their aid. These are violations. So in what not all work, if in the try to find an excuse, a justification, we're actually ridiculous. The most ridiculous thing, he's just making himself into a fool. Look at that Nigerian comedian. Check the man. I mean, it become a buffoon. The man is now in our eyes. Everybody asks you, say, come on, Sierra Leone, as I say that Sierra Leone comes on, get a buffoon, IGP. I mean, the man just turned himself, the most recent recruit from police into police force. No one respect that man again at all. Because as far as I'm concerned, I have never seen any police commissioner or police inspector general become so baseless, so flat. I mean, I have absolutely no. I don't even want to think of the man. He's a strong man. Look, I've been watching in December where the dance with maybe so training in place where they jump. So I mean, you turn yourself into like a gorilla.
The Ayebu music.
It's so disgraceful. I mean, for a head of an institution like the police, you forget dignity. That man has got no dignity at all. When it comes to as to what we for do, all I will say to people like when Paul 91 yesterday would say, if not true, he said the oldest man, if not true, well, President for do something, not for anything bad, he went and arrested it, give instruction to arrest the man, just because the APC man. His strategy is they're only trying to create fear. They're only trying to create this intimidation for make people scared, make nobody not come out or say something. But nobody's going to give in to that. We're not going to give in to that. People will not give in to that. The boys will continue to sing. I was interviewed in 2005, before the 2007 election. I went to Freetown. And I was interviewed the SLBC interview. The video is still in our YouTube. When I was asked, how I feel about how this, because I'm a musician as well. How I feel about them, the new recruits, the new crop of musicians. Then how I feel about the singers. I said, well, they sing different parts. The one who will be the play band in that 60s, 70s. So. But I want them. I said, they can't sing. If them Bobaya continue to sing, then sing and then go put Pakaba that's it. And that's what happened. That's what happened. Because when Bobo Bele and all that money come out, that girl sick now with I think Vida or something like that, they were singing songs will be really hard against the government. But Pakaba not all them. He said, better sing. It better not go to bush. It better not go to bush. What do they sing? But now, before you make small thing no more, you don't arrest. What's the Emerson not sing? Emerson sing, which is the thing that Mungu boss per matches. When I analyze that, I say it was so psychological. I mean, we got police brutality everywhere in the world. Let me not hide that. Inside England, I should say we get police brutality. We see what's happening in America, but we cannot copy the bad things. We cannot copy the bad things.
We cannot copy the bad things.
We cannot copy the bad things.
We cannot copy the bad things. Let me hold you there for a sec. Thank you so much. You've been so brilliant tonight. I must confess, and you even get the studio appearance. The package is there. Thank you so much. That was a very good analysis. I just can't give with People's Power the last word. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. You then at the ground. We are heading to election time now. Waiting at the way forward for the APC in comeback na power. Whose word, whose advice we get to the APC and them in terms of our preparedness for elections, for pool bill, and then by extension, all the people are really cause problem. Come on in, People's Power. Come on in, sir. Are you there?
Seem to come.
People's Power. I think we've lost him. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, let me quickly open the phone line so that we get people in back for day part of the program. This has been a very
I want to say one thing before you open the phone line. I just want to say, people, party members, party followers, party grassroots members, let them be very careful and play the game slowly, quietly. Let's wait until this interim situation is clear. Then we begin with campaigns properly. Dr. Samuel Amawe, anytime go, the crowd will follow up. Nothing will stop the other members that were interested in for flag bearership. Not stop them from doing the routine. All manner of competition.
Hold on, People's Power.
Thank you very much.
People's Power, hold on, please. Let senior comment. Just hold on, please. Go on, sir.
I'm saying those people, those members, party members, the way one vie for flag bearership, let them take them. Let them not attack each other when they party their own supporters, they cause each other. Let me take them careful, make the situation like 91 not come up again. Because we're not going for dinner in England, they try to contact people there, for them go release people there. No, we're not going to. We all did it. We all know what we do by this case. Case day, and I'm glad we see the pull out yesterday. What I did and with them they go pull a commodity the minister do well. I will try and thank him because he had to intervene. So it's fine that we get somebody that. But if we not go. Let's be careful. Let Porsche like Klima when they go mad because he ain't got mad. He don't really mad because sometimes Trade one say in a prophet, he go big priest, he go pray. In prayer, I think in prayer we don't pray on the prayer lost night. He don't go begin back again for making nonsense. Because I mean you're not deputy, you don't even substantive minister. You be both misbehave so. You misbehave so. When I arrest during an escobar time, priest Adin went in front of the CID and try to demand say Inspector General Munu for go. And let's relent. He relents after consideration because one piece. We replace Munu. This man don't even 100 times worse than that situation. We don't want a person like a failed leader like I used to ruler. So ruler in age one, I'm not concerned with that. President Biosi wanted a strong man. Unfortunately, he don't pick the wrong strong man. We don't get enough of him. Assessing President Biosi will save empathy, will save him power, will save his own image by replacing that man before the election comes. Because I die upon die the camp. We don't want more killing in our country.
Thank you so much, senior comrade. I want to say on behalf of the producer and the entire team of the monologue team, APC U.K, Everyday Politics, want to say thank you. You've been a blessing today to this platform, and you've been a blessing to Sierra Leone. You've been a blessing, even somebody we don't come and impact knowledge. You don't bring so much na the table. Even myself don't learn boku I believe say we get for they bring you very frequently na this platform because we don't actually reach now the landing area. We don't reach to now when it comes to election era, and we need people like you now we be say when I get immense knowledge and for sure we take the message, we give it on board. Thank you so much. People's power. People's power.
Thank you,
I'm
Lord.
gonna give you 2 minutes for let you basically talk to we about this is where we are. The police don't fall under the state's capture agenda of President Julius Maada Bio. It's a premeditated plan by His Excellency President Maada Bio for capture all the institutions that make it sack Lara for no accountability not in the country at all. The consolidated revenue fund is just free. Then they do what they therefore do is flying in and out of the country. And now on top of that, we have a police that is determined, the hell determined for make sure that they cripple anybody will say it is stand in the way either by legitimate means for pull Maada Bio, they're ready for broke them down. We have the APC. We have so many problems. Listen to a senior comrade here. Even they talk say the issue of the flag bearer. And you know, man, we don't talk and plenty times say let people then put their love to the APC. The reason why some of us the Canadian platform they are so for do all the sacrifices they are so because the APC we put a premium to, not individual. People they come and go. We don't get very great people will be locked this party today in this 6 feet deep. What advice do you have for the APC? I'm going to give you 2 minutes, sir, before I open the phone line.
Thank you very much. And I think you have said it all. You don't say all things. And the big problem we get now, the All People's Congress Party, we not loyal to the party. And I think if we not loyal to the party, then definitely we don't get them wrong. When you loyal to your party, you not go loyal to individual person within the party. And this don't make the police, when if you see the police, then they intimidate the All People's Congress Party leadership. Now because the party people are not there together. Now because loyalty not there within the comrades. And when you get people and we're loyal to the party, they look at the bigger picture, because if you loyal to the party, whenever things the party say for do, who side the parties want for let people them go, now they go. But when you loyal to individual person within the party, when that person they not succeed for get any position, definitely you loyalty now to that person, they not to the party. But one thing where I want to tell the All People's Congress Party, it is high time for let the party come together and galvanize themselves. They stand against this police brutality. If this political party, when are the All People's Congress Party, when are the only alternative for now for Sierra Leone thing, APC are the only alternative. If the party not come together, believe you me, whosoever they give that flag bearer day will not wait for succeed. If you give Samoa the flag bearer, if you petition no support them, if Balamara no support them, Jobono to no support them, then
Exactly.
no support them. All other people that came out to say they not support them, they not will succeed. If you not came out to say they give, other people that not support them, they not will succeed. If you not reach a concert and give, other people that not support them, they not will succeed. If you not get Balamara and give, other people that not support them. Believe you me, we will not go succeed until and unless we all come together. We support one candidate, we support one person. Now we make we win election. But we get divided mind, we not go win election. We get the number, we get the support. Me waiting at the ground at the 30 places. Sierra Leone said already for the change. But ask yourself the question: APC not ready for the change? APC not ready for cancer cup leadership? Even if the regime change get for happen, when we pretty sure say regime change will happen, the international donor partners they still say APC serious for cancer cup governance. They still say APC don't galvanize themselves. They don't put themselves together. Right now, they talk so. We for the talk now, but how we go to tell we ideologies to the people. We go to talk what we manifesto. But up to this time, we don't get leadership. Up to this time, flag bearer no day. Up to this time, the stakeholders within the party, they not come together. They not galvanize themselves. Everybody gets different minds. Now, because the party not get together, now it makes the police and the misbehave so. Now, because the party not come together, now it makes the police behave so. If the APC leadership is there together, the former ministers, deputy ministers, air parastatals, former ambassadors, them, the one that will work under Anescoma, the APC people, if they all be there together, believe you me, the way Emmanuel how the police state is so, very much. I was speaking. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. You've been
Fantastic.
a very vital guest tonight. There's no better way you close. You get a closing mark. And what you don't do, first of all, I'm gonna let you go. People's Power. You go watch the program. Waiting People's Power don't give away. The phone line is open now for UAD na UK. Now +4 for UAD outside now +44 744 833 8290. If you day outside UK, save this number on WhatsApp. Call me on WhatsApp now +44 744 833 8290. It didn't at the screen. Call us and be part of the program. You know, the closing remarks of People's Power, it's pretty much hinged on the topic we get last week, say APC must unite. We have no other option. We unite or we stay in a perpetual opposition. We unite or we stay in a perpetual opposition. And that is the very, very, very good way People's Power don't put on. Because in all the people that when they come in and vying for flag bearer, and in fact, don't begin see new faces and they come. There is no way for we able to get state hosts if everybody is fighting from themselves. We get the capacity in the APC. We have the numbers in our side. We get the evidence of this failed government. The people they don't turn them back na the SLPP. Today, just today, when I see what happened at Kenema, I believe, or Bo, there's a video where they go around when people they actually demonstrate, say, we want fuel. If not, this will happen. Some of those people for don't lost their life today. Because anything where they happen at the northern part of the country for them is tense. That's something where they need for eliminate. You understand? So in all of this, People's Power don't make this conclusion. And we know these issues. And we want to support them people also. I have this message for you. You know, the worst thing in politics is having your name, your face, and everything, then put them at the ballot box as you as the candidates of the All People's Congress political party, a very popular party. 2023, then put you face day. And because of some things that even when they happen within una camps them, when certain camp members then they behave so selfish and reckless, then they make the animosity because most of them people are already coming into the political field, they feel like say they're not part of it. We're not stories. We just don't want to come out and begin to wash with dirty linens. But we want for them to take this thing very serious. We know things happen. We don't say when they gonna come. It is not right. Now the rights for them to come. It's good. But when you didn't come, take and say the candidates where they support. If we make a flag bearer, there is no way for let it become president if everybody not come together for support. ABS seated here. I have my own voting block. I get people who they look after Nasser Leone. Senior comrade is a papa. Get people them. The chairman of UK, I get people where they support. The secretary, the youth leader, the women's leader, the executive, the general membership, the chairman them at the regions. They all get voting block. If you don't damage the bridges them, just because you want to come as a flag bearer, the post flag bearer time is very, very crucial. People will undermine you. We don't want it. It's about time we tone down the rhetoric. If you're supporting somebody, let us use the power of persuasion. Persuasion is very, very important. Sell your candidates in a way that in a nuanced dialogue, not in a way that's where they make Israel Papa look like say it's less of a human or it's less of an APCian. We have to stop this. And for you guys, when they come in at the political field and say we want to be flag bearer, everybody wants to be flag bearer. If we not learn the lesson of 2018, we not all sit down, we not all see, we not know what's happening in the country. It's your right, by the way. Let me make it very clear. But then again, people say before you start the journey, you get to look the time and the sun. Because then you know, say if you're able to reach. So some of you guys are actually coming into the field of play for strategic positioning. We know this. It's not bad. Politics is a game of interest. But to what extent will they do where it's very damaging for the party, when they create more chaos, when they create more camps them, wait for consolidate those camps tomorrow, it become a heck of a work for us for do. Let's think about this. People's Power and Senior Comrade is a papa and say, if because we know they together, and now make them people, they say a house divided. A house divided. They say if you see streets by you, now who sell you. SLPP no say APC get the capacity. But they playing on this because we, for far too long, we don't get so into this diplomacy. There was never this kind of politics. I don't ever see them any part in the West African hemisphere, especially in sub-Saharan countries. For an opposition party say, then care about the states more than the governments. That is a strategy for failure. We're not saying people should be delinquents. We're not saying people therefore be lawlessness. But we get to live as citizens, that we get we own rights and we get we own responsibility. Our political franchise does not stop in the ballot box. It is our responsibility for ensure the current government behave responsibly. Well, when people, because they want to be armchair warriors, they want to dress in white robes in a game like politics. You go inside kitchen, you say no one for feel the heat. That's why APC is where it is today. So what we're saying to you from this platform, from the rest of the APC UK media, this country, for let we come, we spend this long time and sit down and they talk to now, they make these sacrifices. We are taking our own personal time, just like the one day back when they struggle right now for the party. All of us, that agenda day. So you will get a motive for undermine the APC. You're making a mistake. Because guess what? Come 2023, Mother Bill, the ballot box. So if you, a person with concern and will not say this program and leadership is not something we want, we're about to wrap up the program. If you want to call us, please call us now and make your voice heard. If you know for if again what would they ask? Please una help me for share this program. It's very important. Una share to una groups they wanna get. Just share the link that you Facebook with them, because people can go watch the program even when we know they live. It's a program where they for everybody. We come today for can dismantle the dynasty of Sovola as the IG. It's a game. Mother be new average. New Sovola was going to be a square peg in round hole. He knew all of this. He knew that the guy does not have the competency, the required competency to head an institution called Sierra Leone Police. But it was their agenda, because they want to shift our focus. They want mayhem to unfold in Sierra Leone day in, day out, so that the citizens will be distracted. That is the agenda. So it's our responsibility to come in together collectively. Let's put political party aside. It's our responsibility. The agenda should be now about emancipating Sierra Leone. The emancipation of Sierra Leone should be our agenda. It should be a collective agenda. It shouldn't be a party thing. This for be me and you. If we not do this, some of us are in the diaspora. They do cleaning. The one they open office, they open office. But who now with Sierra Leone, with a PhD, with everything. Believe me, if this continue, Sierra Leone would be a doom. When I don't see the indexes, what I don't put the human rights index, it don't go low. Since 2018, it's a fact. Let nobody lie to you. It's the facts are there for all to see. This is where we are. This is not the program when they call daily politics. I wish we can go more to this, but we cannot, because all good things must come to an end. This now when I host tonight, when I come with ABS. But before they go, they close this program. Now this man tell we, and that's why this man now did in police hand. Because that explanation, even though I read an article today, we tell you about what happened in first appearance. They say the lady, when I be the pump attendant, it talks say when LJ reach now the station, which impeded them, then begin abuse them, then threaten them. How could you be threatened by somebody with people, pump attendants in a setting as we don't get a phone call? I think somebody's trying to reach out to us. Somebody wants to say something quickly. Let me see if I can bring this person quickly, and so that we close the program. But basically, what I'm trying to say, how can anybody in their right senses? You are a pump attendant of a fueling station, of a gas station. Suddenly, during your shift, a car pulled in and then this guy's head.
7,
Let me see who is calling.
3, 7, 6.
Somebody
5,
is calling.
6, 2, 2, 9.
This line is not showing.
7, 8, 3, 7, 6.
For some reason,
5.
The line is not showing. The caller is not showing for some reason. So, but the point I'm saying, I apologize, caller. The point I'm saying is this: this lady, according to the first appearance of LJ in courts, it was reported that the lady be the woke. Then all of a sudden, LJ here in Paddy them pull in. When them pull in and start for abuse them. According to Umar Fufana, it said the words they use, profanity, is so bad that you know for repeat them on air. So this lady is say he go back, he go pump the petrol. How could you? I think, but that's something for LJ in law them to explore. But because when somebody in a conflict situation, unless that lady they be put on a gunpoint, if you not be in a gunpoint, there is no reason for is because in a filling station like that, we know what's that filling station day. The question one for ask, was she alone? And even if she was, why for take so much risk? That's what the report is trying to tell we. But that is by the way. But what's really concern here? We're not even here for can say LJ is guilty, is guilty or innocent. That is not what we're here for. We know LJ gets a history, and that history is a young man. He get for correct certain things that we know this. But then again, the law tell we say you cannot hold somebody in retrospect because we know LJ as somebody who is stubborn, as somebody with a cause problem. So therefore, anything will happen now, you can just take an upon them based on in previous record. No, the law does not say that. You cannot treat ABS is in retrospective effects. Just because maybe Adams don't do something, or Mansour don't do something, or Mustafa Hamid, the chairman of the UKI don't do something, so because ABS is our comrade, so ABS should suffer. No. Or because ABS don't do something, now the Bristol waiting and call, so we don't come London, something happen, then if for Twitter. No, not so the law say. LJ is as innocent until it's proven in a competent court of law. So the cutting of deadlock was actually against human rights. That is the case what they talk about. Because if we allow them systematically go, the so-called SOP when they talk about, then tomorrow somebody go land at airports, ABS go land at airport, the first thing say cutting is. The police could say that. The cutting of her hair is cutting of her body parts. That cannot be replaced anymore. That is the argument what they put here. But as APCians, we have a responsibility not to sue EBD, said LJ. We're about to wrap up.
Say the way them be left the power to murder, not to say it. Not to you to smoke and go mad. Try it, not to say be there. The way this mommy they talk, the other mommy not to say be there. The way politics them spoil, we try it, I say not to say be there. The way my dad they fly plenty, the other part not to say be there. The way this mommy they talk, the other mommy not to say be there. The way them.
That's what EBD, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you on behalf of the producer and the management team of the monologue program called Everyday Politics. You guys have been awesome. Please help us share this program. We're about to put the curtain down. But before we do that, you've listened to the man himself, LJ. That tune is what got him in trouble. Now this make SLPP, they go after this young man. Not to say every day, but it's true. Because look at the indexes. Why don't you now? It's true. That's show the country be there. Look at the number of people. Just look at the school bar. Look at the information where they go. These are the people that we don't die. And we not even put the post-election killing na swafe. It's not included. and how people then displace them and bring people in Kamasingbin. I was in Freetown. I was in Sierra Leone. I was part of the people them we good, including the current vice president. Not to so Sierra Leone be there. Will not be the ever gets a post-election era as rough, as dark as 2018. And with presidents, when a group of APC and stakeholders can go meet them for the very first time, where you don't take the oath of allegiance, you say, I'll be a president, not just for the South, North, East, West, but for Sierra Leone as a whole. When I go meet them for tell them about the issues, the way they happen, the destitute position of people that we flee from Swafe, President Julius Madabio is in record for say now starts. From that very moment, they push a binary distinction between us and them. And that's where we are. And that's why LJ say not to sow EBD. And this is how I'm going to end the program for tonight. I want to say thank you for being with us. And I also want to say thank you to the APC U.K. You guys have been awesome in the past 48 hours or so. Our brother was held captive, I would say. He was unlawfully arrested. He was targeted by the same police. He didn't do anything wrong. Mohammed 91cc didn't do anything wrong. He was arrested just because of he sent a post on his Facebook page. There's nothing there that is illegal. There is nothing there that was in violation of the cyber crime 2021. But they held him captive just because he's APC. Because the agenda here is to keep all of us subservient to the whims and caprices of this dangerous regime under Madabio. You and I have a responsibility. For those of you who are in the diaspora, it's about time you start calling your people back home. Put sense in them. Tell them the remittances you're sending. And by the way, this is something also, I don't know if it's affecting all of, but I'm going through this. Since Madabio came in as our president, I have to double and sometimes even triple my remittances to Freetown. It's true. If you be the same for 20 pounds a day, you get for send more than that. And we register, they're not increased at all. They're stagnated. We have to dig in to help our people. Are we obligated? We take obligation. But there's a way we wait for police. Because sometimes around 2014, when the country be do well, people be the let we go. But they will be the call we, then get jobs them. Now, Sarah Rutile, Africa Minerals. Sometimes you go Freetown, they're not even sued. All of them are busy. Nobody wants to live in a begging sphere. Nobody wants to be in that category. The Bio government has reduced our citizens, our compatriots, to a mob of beggars. So you and I have a responsibility. This is the time we need to put sense. Now we people them ace, make them mind, let them determine. When the time comes September for register, we need for go in record numbers and register. The time reach for verify, we go out there and verify, say we did at the electoral roll. The time reach for elections, we vote in our record numbers against Madabio for tell them say the power we get today, where they go up and down. Now we give them. I want to say thank you now for being with us. This is how we end the program. And we will not forget, we get a program on Sunday. We will not forget for tuning and be part of the program. We get Comrade Oankasu and Comrade Sweet Bonita, where then go take now with flagship program. Don't forget to tune in. Thank you so much. But you know, all good things must come to an end. And I want to say thank you. I think let me bring Comrade Israel Papa quickly to say thank you and goodbye to listeners. Come on quickly.
Thank you very much, Comrade ABS, and thank you, listeners and viewers. I hope we are satisfied with the program, and we will continue to contribute attention to the program, pay attention to the program. We all the APC people, let's put ourselves together. Those flag bearers, everybody get opportunity. for stand, but then forget their conscience. People, they were already go before the Richard Conte, the Papito, the Palo, the all the one they want to. Let all man take this guy, but let them reason. Let them see who side the road day, and not all man follow the one road. Because if all man go at different angles, if you use the forest, everybody go at different angles, not follow, then we all will be lost in the woods. We don't want to be lost in the woods again, as we got lost in the woods in 2018. So that's advice
Thank
I
you
would
so
give.
much.
I want to say
Thank you so
thank you
much,
to everybody watching.
Thank you so much, comrade. God bless you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, this is how I bring the curtains down. Unfortunately, I know some of you are still there. I'm enjoying the program, but what's I'm asking you on behalf of the producer of this show, and the producer is actually, I have to go now, because if I not do maybe they will sack me. So, but now they stop. Please, wanna share this program. This is the Daily Politics with me, Comrade ABS, leading the conversation. I thank you and good night.